Yeah, I can fix that.
Awesome. And another thing I think we didn't touch on, did we talk about those two strokes here last time? Between the cartouche and the Life, Prosperity, Health?
I don't think we did the hieratic
think
for
we did.
that sentence yesterday,
Yeah.
did we?
I think we just talked about stuff.
Then let's do that, I would say. And I don't know what they are. I'm pulling up the Gardener book. Maybe he mentions what they are. I don't know. Should we go through from
Sure.
the beginning of the line? Okay.
Yeah.
And Peter, you actually did write it. I think the only one who did. I said I would and I didn't. So apologize. Quite a
No
week.
worries. And again, you should know that it was all just playing around. The inconsistency from the strokes, yeah, it's just kind of like, didn't try too hard there. But anyway,
I thought it looked pretty good.
so thank you.
So one that's always tricky when you come from hieroglyphs is the way glyph that looks completely different from what you would expect. Oops.
Totally.
That's not the right thingy here. Maybe this works. Delete all drawings. Here we go. So I think the way that goes is like this, and like this. And that's really it. And that's how it already looks like in the 12th dynasty. Already looked like this. Then the 20th, but 600, 700, 800 years before, it already had that shape. So it doesn't look anything like the hieroglyphs. And then what else? The tall Q we did talk about. I don't see the D here.
Yeah, I don't see the T here either. That was one thing that I was going to bring up. It was like, I don't see the D and I don't really see the T. So that's
Right.
interesting. Unless you're thinking of that little, unless they thought of it as like this little triangle right there is like maybe the, and here I go interpreting from one system to the next, right? It's like, maybe it's the crook of the thumb and the top of the hand. I don't know.
Or there's a T there because there's a descender, like even though it doesn't do anything.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's, I mean, here's how your full version D looks like, right? Thumb
Right.
and the rest of the hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that plus T, does that become some kind of little ligature here, something like this? I mean, T can look like this. The main stroke in the T is really this one, the horizontal. But sometimes the scribe does this. He has like a long intro, and then comes the main stroke, and then comes that little bit of a tick, which he doesn't do here at all. Excuse me. Like, for example, here you can also see it. That's right, like that, and he doesn't even continue down anymore. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe keep an eye out for this. This is the first time I see it. That also did catch my attention.
Yeah.
But then again, you sort of know. I mean, it starts with a Q, it goes on with an N. What else could it be?
Right.
And that little dot under the sky glyph is, did we talk about that before? I think it's fairly consistent in this document, but.
No, we did not. And I think that is actually quite common. Shall we look it up in Möller?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Let's get Möller. I don't know the glyph number for this one, N something, but I guess we could just do PT. That should work, right? There you go. So like you said, it is fairly consistent. At least for the new glyph.
Yeah.
What that is, I have no idea. I mean, for the sky, all you need is down, across, down. That's all you need, right? So
I like the one with the wiggly lines underneath it.
yeah, that's cute, isn't it?
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah.
So I wonder if the dot is the same thing as that. It's somehow the land underneath the sky, or
Oh,
the waves at the horizon.
good point. Could be.
Cool. And Aurelio, you were telling us if we look into Mueller and we look at that number that is potentially the source of that.
Yes.
Is that saying Dynasty 17? Or no, 1 and 7, okay.
Which one would you want? Which out of the many columns?
Oh no, I'm just, so
this
it's
one.
probably,
Ah,
yeah,
got-
the one that we were just looking at. So what is the 1 and 7 underneath
okay. Well,
that in Muller mean?
there's one thing that you don't see in the snippet, which is I'm not sure if you can see the whole thing. Can you actually? No, you can't. Oh, no, you can. There you go. Cool. I didn't know that worked. But he doesn't give you.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. In some of them, he does have the
Here you go.
source document above.
So here's basically how this works. The first thing you need to know is which column is it in. So what does that fall under? I think it was one of these, but let's check. There we go. Second from the right. It's easier when you have a paper version, but yeah, let's do it the longer way. So Papyrus Abbot.
Okay.
Papyrus Abbot. So this could mean, when he puts like some extra letters, that means it was a similar papyrus, like something that's stylistically very similar, but it's not exactly the papyrus that he's naming in the column. And if it's just a number, I think it actually is Papyrus Abbot. So now the next question is, what does that mean? 1-7, is that page 1, column 7 or something? Or is it pages 1 and pages 7? I must admit, I haven't looked that far.
Okay.
There is a, I'm trying to find it. I think this is what it is.
Nice.
Is it here? University of Mainz in Germany does have a list of what all these abbreviations stand for. Hang on, but am I going to find it fast enough? Mainz, Möller, Ziegler, if that it is. Would have to search for it, but there it is, updating Möller.
Oh, yeah. I think you put that in the Discord before.
Right. But that's not it. It was directly on the university website.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Updating Möller. I don't want to go too much on a bunny right here, but if you look in Discord, somewhere I have the
Yeah.
and then you can basically look up. This doesn't work. Sorry, but
Sorry
then you
about that.
can look
Yeah.
look up what each of these numbers stands for.
Cool. Okay.
I guess once you figure that out, you could look up the page and then find the whole thing in context. So here I would go to Papyrus Abbot and probably start with page 1 to see if it's somewhere in there.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Random question as well. Sorry to sidetrack us further. If I wanted to add the doomed prints to this GitHub repository.
Hieratic papyri and where to find it?
Yeah.
Just do it. I mean,
would I just branch the repository and then,
Oh no! When I set that up, this is just this is cheap technology. This is just a Google spreadsheet. All you do is you type in there directly. The idea was essentially have the inventory number. If it has like a common name, let's put the common name and put what dynasty it's from. And that's really it. I try to keep pictures of real papyri because what often happens is with the older publications, they couldn't do photos yet in the 1800s. So they put really beautifully redrawn copies, but I keep those separate in another tab simply because, well, they're not original. So if you're going to come to any conclusions like, oh, this is how the scribe wrote it, well, not quite. This is how the scribe from the 19th, from the 19th century wrote it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the doomed prints is already on the hieratic tab there, and column 9 for Papyrus Horus. So if you scroll over to again, I apologize for taking so much time on this. So if you look at row 9, you can see the doomed prints is on Horus Papyrus 500. It's on the verso side It's on the opposite side to the Harper song. And
Want me to open it?
take, yeah, oh, sure, sure. Yeah, you could, that's fine.
Whoops.
I wish there was a way to specifically link to part of the document when you're looking at stuff on the British Museum's website, because it's like the one that I'm always, so I think it's probably 3 or 4 pages over, or columns over, sorry, within the same thing. So it starts in about column 4. Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
No, you can't. Some of them you can.
That would be really cool.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's like, I've started a document like we've started for Horus and Seth. And I guess I just want to do the same thing that we've done there with hieroglyphs underneath it, just so that everybody can have it if they want it. And it in Sheldon's book, or Goslin's book, sorry, he doesn't do the full papyrus. He just does like maybe the first page, it seems. So I'd like to do like the full papyrus with, just like we're doing for Horus and Seth, and might be a good tool for later enthusiasts once, you know, they've done Horus and Seth. So that's all I wanted to say.
So if you want to add that to GitHub, you could either add it to the Horus and Set repo, or you could make a new repository just for the doomed prints. I'm not sure which one's better.
Okay.
But just
Maybe I'll put it in the same place as Horus and Seth so that it doesn't get lost and
okay.
somebody can edit it if they want to. Okay, cool.
Sorry,
Sorry.
you misunderstood. I thought we were talking about the papyrus repository. Got you.
Oh no, both really. So, and Aaron, you did the snippets of the papyrus, is that right?
I've done some of them. I started, I think, on page 6 or something, and I've done 7, 8, and I'm halfway through page 9. But yeah, I love doing those, so
How did
I would
you-
definitely contribute to that.
How did you do the what process did you use, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because I don't have cool editing software where I can get the jagged edges like you do. I just, you know, can copy.
I don't have
straight
cool
lines.
editing software either. I actually found a free photo editing app called, oh my God, what's it called? It's on my computer.
Sorry to focus so much on technology.
No, my God. Hold on, I'm gonna shrink my thing here. Oh, it's not letting me do stuff. Why is it not letting me do stuff right now? All right, well, my screen's frozen. It's not letting me do stuff. I'll let you know what it's called, but it's just a photo editing app. And it has something called a lasso tool.
Oh,
It'll
cool.
let you drag, it'll let you set a point, and then the next point, and then the next point, and it uses those as the outline to cut out the shape
Awesome.
of whatever you're doing.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
But I didn't do everything we've read so far, I didn't do. I'm not sure who did the first 5 or 6 pages.
I think Christian did them up to page 5.
He did. Okay. Yeah, I think he used Photoshop, I think, but it's the same tool. And a good photo editing app will have a tool like that.
Cool. All right. I've said enough. Thank you.
It's a great idea, I think, to do more text. I find this format super helpful to actually learn
Oh, totally.
side by side. It's so much easier than having to constantly.
Oh, makes a huge difference.
I think honestly, they should all be like this. This makes so
Oh,
much
yeah,
sense.
right.
Cool. So yeah, what's going on here with the little DT? I don't know. I decided mentally to park it and see how it goes on. If that happens more frequently, that he's gluing them together, or if we maybe misunderstood what exactly he's doing here. I would leave that open for the moment. Let's see what else.
Right, and this is the line with this where the determinative is actually on the next line, which is also weird.
think it is. Let's go there. If I can. One day we'll learn this. Okay, here we go. Yep, there it is. And I'm still trying to figure out how these are done. And I think it is, I mean, since everything is always left to right, top to bottom, or top to bottom, left to right, I think it's like this, probably like this, and like that. That seems to make the most sense. But it's really hard to prove. The only reason I'm saying that is because that seems to be the order in all the times where you can tell. And by that logic, for that He or Hach God here, I would say something like this, maybe. And then finish it off at the bottom. This is my best guess. Can I prove it? No. But it seems to make some sense. Then we have the floral strokes, the N, the Sep. This here looks indistinguishable for me from the sun. Sun would look the same, left, right, tick in the middle. Then comes the me sign, the like sign. I zoomed in a bit what he's doing. I think he's doing this, left, right, finish it off here, finish it off here. You can't really see that in our copy because it's not high res enough. But if you go to the high resolution pictures that are in the syllabus, Kevin reminded me that we had those. And if you look into that, then you can actually see that seems to be the order, just based on yeah, the distinct strokes that you can see. Then here's a double T, TT. So 1 T, 2 T's, bind it over into that Z-shaped book row. Then comes our little tau. And then finally, I'm not quite sure how you make this one. I'm guessing like this, like this, like this, but I'm not completely decided yet. I mean, it's 4 strokes, I just don't know which sequence. I'm assuming you go left to right, so that makes this kind of, but it could be different. 3 gods, god on a stick, I mean, falcon on a stick, plural strokes, vertical ones, an R with some damage in between.
I like how you say it's an obvious difference there between the bird on the stick and the 3 plural strokes.
Oh, yeah, because you have that one extra stroke here. That's really
Yeah.
it.
Makes it really clear.
The other thing, I mean, you're right. They are quite similar, but the other thing about the falcon on the stick is it seems to go like this. It has like it's like a little loop here before it goes down. And the other one really looks to me more like tuck, 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 something like this. But you're right, they're quite similar. And then the other one, let's see what else. We have the S, a little T again like this. And then comes a number. And I don't know, I think a lot of people hate the numbers. I'm not sure why. If you look at, I mean, hieroglyphs, they're so neat, right? So this would be 20, this would be 30. And that's not what they look like in hieratic at all. Let's have a look. Uh, 21, 22. Come up. Doesn't want to. There we go. I thought I posted. So the 10 is very recognizable. It's just like a little triangle. And then the 20 looks like it originally was basically two 10s on top of each other. So you have like a fully shaped 10 and then more like a little almost like a dot, or yeah, what do you call this one? It's not a macron. It's like a slightly rounded thingy on top of it. And the 30 basically becomes 2 of these and the 10 at the bottom. So that's how you get this X shape. Almost looks like a chromosome. Yeah, that's what we have here. That's our 30. Okay. So that's our 30. And then big determinative stroke, 2 reed leaves that smear into each other. A god, a Horus, the end of the cartouche. Let's do that one real quick. So that's separated out. And then there's 2 more strokes. I don't know what to do with them. Basically, don't know what that is.
Yeah. Can you also jump back for the Amun person?
Yeah, before the Amun, there's like an extra vertical too that I didn't understand.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's a stick. Maybe that's what that is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a stick. Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
the was.
Like that's the wasp scepter he's holding,
Maybe.
which is
Yeah.
tiny in the hieroglyph, but
It's got an extra line at the top of it for the face or whatever.
Hmm. You're right. There's something there, isn't there? This here.
And that thing that looks like a third leg is his beard. Is that right?
that's how I read it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
He's got the beard, he's got the hair coming down the back, he's got the feathers on his head.
Okay.
Something like this. I just didn't know what to make out of this either. Do we think that's a
Yeah.
scepter he's holding?
But yeah, if he's holding a wasp scepter, that makes a lot of sense.
That could be
Yeah.
it. Yeah, let's run with that. I think that makes sense. Also, this puppy
That
is. Go ahead.
line that you said is the hair. That's so used to it being the arm. You know, when they draw a guy sitting down, it's usually an arm back there like that. So that might just be like habitually writing it.
I was thinking about that too, honestly, because if you look at that, that really just looks like, if you forget about the two things on top, that just looks like that Seruveru cliff, right? Where you have the guy with a hand here, with another hand here, and with a staff, basically.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
the same, just with. I wonder. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it could be the arm. I thought like when they did the arms, they connected the 2 arms together. Whereas the thing it's coming out the back of his head, it's not coming out of the shoulders. But
Yeah.
you could be right that it's just the other arm.
let's take a look here. Well, let's compare.
And can I just say, Aurelia, you've got a lot more motor control using the annotation tools than I do. So props.
Okay, just getting lucky, I think. Last week I was trying to do Coptic with that tool and it didn't work at all. So do we have that Seruveru guy somewhere at the beginning, right? Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
Here he is.
There was one guy.
How would you write this? I mean, honestly, but that again is guesswork.
It looks very similar. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, you know, meaning to be the hair, but is just, the scribe is just so used to doing that curve like that it ends up looking just like the arm. You know what
I mean, if you look at this guy here, right? Tick, tick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely supposed to be the hair there.
That's definitely the hair here. The other one, that's definitely an arm because it's coming out below the head. So those two are quite clear in my mind. Hair versus arm. So let's see what we got with that new insight. Will that help us make a decision? Yes, we're really far down to page 3. It feels like it's taking forever, but we're actually getting there.
We're almost done.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot of fun stuff coming. Let's see how far we get.
I mean, almost done with the page. Almost
I
done.
was thinking like, still a lot of weirdness on the way.
Yes. this is.
Saying, some of you know what I mean. So what is this now? I would claim that's an arm. I want it to be the hair, but just from where it's starting on the head. If that's his hairdo, it's starting really far down. I think he was thinking arm when he wrote that. And that doesn't fit with the glyph at all.
Doesn't fit the glyph.
I mean, if you look at the glyph, can we make this any bigger? Sorry about that. Unless you take, I mean, it could be, right? He has this thing going down here. Is that really a hairdo? Or are those some kind of things that are tied to the headdress? That's what it may be. I mean, if we really want to know that, then we probably have to look at a few other examples in Mother. But it looks like an arm to me, honestly. Okay, and what do we make out of the double stroke here?
You think that could be phonetic? Like it could be a we, like a pseudo verbal or pseudo dual thing to.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's just
Why? Let's see.
then it'd be outside of the cartouche, right?
Yes, it's outside the cartouche.
And in the J sesh glyphs, they have them not be the straight ones; they have them be curved.
Oh, interesting.
When the hieratic, they're very straight.
Interesting. Well, let me look at the other option that we have, which is Ramses. Let's clean up here a little bit. Nope, one before that.
Yeah.
Here you go. Oh, that's what you mean. I see.
Yep.
So they just interpreted it as part of the 30, Council of the 30, or?
It looks like because they have a space between that.
Yeah, I don't know. That one I'm gonna chalk up weirdness. Is that?
So what does the LPH normally look like in hieratic? Like,
Well, that was a question that I had too. Yeah.
I was having trouble with that, like all that whole sequence.
Good question. Because what he has here for the LPH is actually this interesting shape here. So this is the cartouche, they say, and they say these are just two vertical lines, and then here's your LPH, which is essentially just downstroke, downstroke, and then an S for the synap.
Oh, interesting. I'm interpreting that as an onk.
Yeah, it looks like it's backwards or something, but
Oh, the synap?
I think you're right. That's the S.
Yeah, that does make
And so
sense.
the previous two things must be the Ach and the
Yeah,
Waj, but
yeah.
Does Muller have that as a separate sign? Let me see. He might. Because of ligatures and things like that. Ah, found it. No. How do you get that out of the digital version? I don't know. So what he shows, I can just draw it, maybe. Here's different versions. One of them looks like So the fullest version would look kind of like this. You have like a little ankh. That's the tiniest of loops on top, something like this. And then the ujjayi or ujja becomes essentially this, almost looks like a bee. And then the sin at the end. That's the fullest New Kingdom version that that Muller gives. But then he also has things like this: tuck, tuck, and surprise, S for Senate. Or alternatively, but this is later, that's Papyrus Abbot. Something like this, that's the ankh again, highly contracted. And then tup, tup. So could be different things.
Wow.
Either of those explain the horizontal.
I have no
Like
idea.
the stroke
Is there anything
across.
like that in Mueller?
No, none of them has that. I'm looking at all his versions.
That could be the horizontal,
It
even
could
though
be.
it's
Yeah.
not really.
I just wonder, is that really a stroke? Or is that... Always game to look this kind of stuff up. Hieratic, hieroglyphic living syllabus. Oh, no, it's not. Is it in there? No, it was a different one, right? Was the... Do we have the
You're looking
hieratic?
for the Chester Beatty website?
Yeah. Is it bookmarked? Yeah, it is. Whoa. Nope, not that page. We're way more advanced than that. I think it's the next one, actually.
See, this is really nice because it gives you the actual URL for the page,
Yep,
part of the papyrus, rather than, okay, I need to scroll.
agree.
Yeah, you can actually generate links that'll highlight a certain section of the document and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so that's the beauty of high-res pictures. You guys are right. This is real. This is not some kind of papyrus damage. That looks intentional. Beats me.
And the S does look like most like the ankh there.
This,
Yeah, it's almost like he ran out or she ran out, like right there, and then dipped again, and then started.
Well, I think that black part is part of the EU.
Yeah,
Like they did the S,
Oh,
they
sure,
dipped,
right.
and then
the
they
feather.
started the E.
That's
Yeah,
part
that
of the
makes sense.
relief. That's the
Yeah,
tick on the
yeah,
relief.
Yeah, that makes sense.
we can
Okay, so then, but there's 3 strokes in that grouping and then the S. Are we saying that
Yes.
the two strokes, there's the 2 strokes after the cartouche,
Mhm. I mean, the
and
cut
then
is supposedly.
mystery stroke, and then ankh, and then wajah, and then S? Or is it 3? Is it 3 strokes after the cartouche and then ankh?
I'm with you. I think it's weird too, because I mean, the way that Garden interprets it is like this. This is the ankh, this is the ujja, and this is the senab.
Right.
Which then begs
Ah.
the question, what's
So
this?
we have a mystery, we have an extra stroke.
We have 2 extra strokes here, and one of them is bound over to half of the life, health, prosperity
Right.
group, which honestly doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I mean, you would think, if anything, this would be our life, health, prosperity here. If
Right.
Mhm.
I think what we'd need to do is look at a few more examples. Do we have life, health, prosperity anywhere else on this text?
We must.
Oh, I'll just search. Got it.
Photographer Kevin Zinzio. Scrape.
Oh, yes, page 1, line 6, end the line. And, oh, interestingly, there's a cartouche, but there's a single stroke after it.
Which would make
I
more
see
sense.
that. That's nice.
But it's referring to a particular god. It's one god. It's when an effort. It's an Ophrys.
Okay. Which line is it?
Oh,
And page 1,
line 6. Line 6.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Down here, isn't it? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
That looks
Yeah.
exactly the same.
It does.
Well, almost, right? Here's
It
something.
doesn't have the, oh, I guess, it doesn't have the thing all the way across, but it does have it in the middle.
And it definitely has the 2 strokes after the curved into the cartouche. So,
Yeah.
or do we have 3 strokes after the curved into the cartouche?
Well, the funny thing is Gardner has 1. Gardner transcribed it as 1 stroke and then Ankh-Jas. But it's, I mean, once again, we've got a mysterious extra stroke that's not, that at
Right.
least Gardner is not transcribing in both cases.
Hmm.
We'll look for more.
I mean, I
examples.
wonder if Gardner is saying the first vertical stroke is part of the closed cartouche. Like there's the curve and there's the flat part, which is the tied
Yeah.
off rope.
That makes sense. Yeah, I would buy that.
Let's do a comparison. So here's one.
There's
And I-
got to be more.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Let's look at a few. That's the first one. Where's the next one?
Mm,
Paper copy. There is no. I thought in the letter there was also one, but apparently not.
yeah, you would think. Very disrespectful.
Well, they start with one, but they don't finish it. There's no closing brackets.
Hmm.
Interesting. Well, that's the one that we just looked at, so let's get that one in while we're at it. Right on page 3. Can I find it fast enough? Somewhere down here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It's the line that's part of the end of the cartouche. It's just totally separated from it for some reason.
Let's see if we can find one more.
There's one more on page 12, line 3.
Page 12, line 3. Okay. Now, how do we get page 12? Because unfortunately, the online one has only pages 1 to 4.
You could go to the book.
Yeah, the book. Good point. Page 7. Is it here? That must be it. There's one. Oh, wait, this must be a different text.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very different handwriting. Although interesting enough, so here's how you take a look at how it's written here. Different
Oh, yeah.
end, but I'm just going to bring it in anyway. Interesting. Okay. I'm bad at counting. Let's see. 1, 2. That's the cartouche, right?
Uh-huh.
And then this one is clearly the health. So that must be, this must be the Ankh. Why are we having this thing? I have no idea. It's like a bonus. Because here, same thing, right? This must be our Ujjayi. This must be our Ankh or Urich. So then, what's this thing doing here? I have no idea. But it seems to be systematic. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a different papyrus and does the same thing.
I
But there
wonder if
are
we
definitely 2 of them after the 30, the Council of the 30.
This one, right?
Yep. See the cartouche, end of the cartouche. Well, the one of them, that first one is just part of the cartouche. And then that, yeah.
Ooh, I found one on page 14 that isn't next to a cartouche.
Oh,
Hey,
wow, cool.
Ooh, okay, all right, let's take a look. Do you have it? handy?
Page line 9.
Thirteen, you said. Where are we here? 17. All right. Yeah, sure, of course. Is that still our papyrus? Yeah, it is.
Wait, that's page 13, right?
Line 9.
Are you on page 14 or on page 13?
I think this is 13 from what it says underneath.
Yeah, we went 14.
Yeah, we want 14.
Oh, 14, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Line.
And it's
This one?
it's right at the beginning.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, it's it says wait. It has the sacred arm, the Jessert arm, and then bird on a stick.
Coming right up, sorry about that. 14.
Wait, you're on page 15 now.
oh, that's 14.
There it is.
Should be after Heliopolis.
Over here, right?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, after the bird on the stick is the
Oh, yeah.
you can see it, yeah.
Ank Jeds.
And it's
Yeah,
really
Mm.
cool.
that one looks normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Literally like the more full version of Muller, right? So that tiny little
Yeah.
cross thingy. This here you would think is a B, but it's really the Uja. And here's your synod.
Yeah.
And nothing.
so maybe it's just a cartouche. Maybe that's just an extra line that they always put on a cartouche.
I think so. I mean, there's one right here, isn't it? That looks cartouche.
Yeah, there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
But
again,
extra 2 lines.
Yeah,
Extra 2 lines. It's either 1 line or 2 line, but what's the difference? Is it whether it's a plural, it like a council of 30 is plural, so it's got 2 lines after the cartouche instead of just an individual god?
there's a cartouche on the next line down without a
I felt-
LHS or LF. Do you see it? It just has it's Lord of Sustenance, and then it's the end of a sentence. It's right before a stand up.
why am I so blind? I'm not even seeing it. Where's the end of it?
Yeah, just a card. Yeah.
Let me take a quick look at the hieroglyphs. You're saying end of page 14?
Yes, it's page 14. It's page 14, line 10. About halfway through, there's a cartouche.
Got you. Yeah.
Hmm.
It just doesn't end though. It's one of those.
Yeah, it doesn't have an ending.
ones.
Okay.
That's really interesting.
Huh.
Why does it end?
Just the whole rest of the text is just in that cartouche. Okay, that's a really long name.
Really, it could rival the Welsh
Slightly
name,
longer,
right?
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, lots of cartouches in here now. I see it. And either with one or two strokes.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
Should we park this one until we have more evidence? I'm not sure that we're going to figure it out just like that. This again looks like a starting cartouche to me. Is that it? Oh, wait,
Uh,
it ends. There's an end here.
Mhm.
See what that's supposed to be. Yeah, there you go.
oh yeah, that's a keka.
It transcribes one extra stroke.
There you
Huh.
go.
Interesting.
Cool stuff, huh?
So
So,
cool.
so did you find an end of a cartouche without the ankh with an extra stroke?
A cartouche with an end without this thingy in here.
Yeah, yeah, without, I mean, there is on line 10. Oh, it doesn't have an end.
Endless.
Yeah.
I would suspect if that's the way that he draws the end of cartouches, that's my theory right now. He's probably going to do that fairly consistently, although it seems to be sometimes one or sometimes two strokes. What you're asking is there any without a bonus, basically, right? That's the.
Oh, there's on line 15.
This one has 3.
That one does has 3. Okay.
Yeah, on page 15, line
Oh.
10, there's 4 extra strokes at the end.
Whoa.
Yeah, page 15, line 10.
Okay, going there.
So I printed this in black and white, and I'm realizing how important color is.
Line 10.
That is a whole lot of extra strokes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
While you're at it.
Oh, holy cow.
Yeah.
Wait.
Although,
Crack doesn't help.
1, 2.
Oh yeah, that is a lot of extra strokes before the win. Or winning.
Why do they do that?
Maybe it's like underlining.
Like the importance of the cartouche.
Who's it? What's the name in it? Who is that?
Looks like a Nefer of some kind. No, just kidding.
It's it's the Lord of Sustenance again,
Mm.
which is the great bounty and Lord of Sustenance.
That's really interesting.
Hey, Shesef Neb Jafau.
Yep. And I'm not going to claim that I know who that is.
That's fantastic, Kevin. Nice.
Wild.
Oh, but why? Eh. Interesting.
See, we
Yeah.
just need an Egyptian to say, hey, what's this all about?
Can you get one on speed dial, please?
Probably say lazy scribe. No.
Yeah, that's the
Had
thing.
to meet his ink quota for the day.
But the
Or
thing
it'll
is,
be like, oh yeah, it's just this thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
oh, I see. You mean they're being
It's,
paid
it's
by-
exclamation points.
Yeah.
I mean, if they left out the health, life, prosperity, I would get it. It's like, oh, you know what, just etc., etc. But he's still writing that. So what's the rest? I don't know. I really don't know. Fascinating. Did we finish the sentence up though that we were just on? Grudgingly. So then we.
Oh, no, not even close.
Then we have the Baba God, but I think this is easier then. I mean, most we talked about. Here's the U. What you can really see nicely here is how he actually does it. So there is, if you would like to trace the movement of the pen, there's like a little serif here. Then he goes down. He makes another serif at the bottom, and then finishes it off. That's why his reed leaves always look more interesting, because he does like a little bit at the beginning, a little bit of the end, which gives it, how would I say that, volume. Doesn't just look flat. I mean, he could do this, but of course that's not elegant. So he does a little bit more at the top, a little bit more at the bottom, and then finishes it off. It makes it look more interesting. Similar for the U, he does something like this. There's like a little bit of the beginning shape that gives you more volume here in the first part. The B, the Pa, the Aleph, the B, another Pa, another Aleph. This one here is interesting. I'm not completely sure what that is. I mean, in earlier middle, this is what just an extra stroke. In the Sailor, you have something like that. So try to remember what it looks like, but I think it's something like this. That's not what that is. It could be, there is a version which looks like this. Instead of going on here, here's like a little serifi thing at the bottom again, but I'm not completely decided. Would need to see a few more of this, what exactly is going on here. But it doesn't look at all like what you're expecting. This is the glyph itself.
That's like an oxtail of some kind, or
Yeah, animal.
I think I've heard it called an animal skin, like
Yeah.
hang.
okay, like maybe the legs and the tail or something like that.
Well, that name is on this page a handful of times. Let's see it again, actually. We have
Yeah.
seen it already.
Baba, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the isn't he the aggressive aspect of a baboon?
Yeah, he's the aggressive baboon. Baboon with attitude. And when you were saying he's there more than once on this page?
Yeah, he's on this page 3 times, I think. Where are we right now?
yeah, I think that's right.
Uh,
We even
He,
get him twice in the same line. No, there's one on. There's one on line 9. There's one
That's
on.
That's the
it's
one.
here again, line 12. Just
Yep.
before the middle of the page. Yep, right there. Looks, yeah, kind of the same.
Kind of similar. I mean, from this one's clearer. And from this,
there we go.
sorry, go ahead. I mean, this looks like this, right? It looks like this and this from the way it's written. But I was thinking before that these two could belong together. They don't. It's clearly like something on top and then this.
Mhm.
As to how that connects to what we're looking for, I don't know. But he's serious about this. That's all I can say. So what does Baba do? Baba, the god, stands up. You can see how he makes the rabbit, which is nice. Namely, little ear first, bigger ear underneath, and something like that. Often you can't see it that clearly, but it's quite obvious. Dual strokes, walking legs, F, another little EU, F, his funky little face. Then the nice speaking glyph is always very long in New Kingdom Hieratic. This time with an N underneath, even longer. Pa bird, Aleph bird, Ra sun, bird on a stick. You can see how he draws the Horus. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like that. Makes sense. This here is really hard to read, the Achet. I think what they're going for is sun and then a box, just like you sort of would expect. So it's kind of hard to see because the papyrus is a bit damaged. It could also be, I don't think that's what he's doing here. It could be a fully formed Ra on top. Or Re, whatever. Christian's gonna kill me. So Re. And then this one here, the car is really like full shaped arms sticking up rather than just doing something like this, right? There's really like some little going here. What else? Reed leaf. This here you have to know that that's a house. Random stroke on top. So stroke, house,
I like what they do with the K underneath everything too.
Say that again. I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, I like what they did with the K underneath everything.
Mm.
It looks like it almost attaches to the iRead, where you can see the circle and then the long stroke.
You mean here, right? Down here?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, although I think that's, if you zoom in, that's probably just, I mean, he's going for that effect that he often has signs running into each other, but
Mhm.
I think in terms of how it's written, I think it's like this. Then all
Mhm.
the other stuff and then the K at the end.
Yep.
Doesn't- And then the shoe, and I realized later the shoe actually has like a little thing in front of it. That's what that is. I think that still belongs to it, if I'm not mistaken. So something like, I think that belongs to the glove.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You.
It looks a lot like a W.
It does look a lot like the W. Let's take a look. Maybe I made this up.
I mean, I think you're right. Gardner's transcription, actually draws an extra line on the shoe glyph, but
I think it does, but let's see. How do you?
There you
Mm.
but is it possible he wrote a W by mistake?
There you go. Oh, no, it's normal. I remember. seeing that.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So yeah, that seems to be the thing that in hieratic the shoe gets 1 or 2 extra lines at front. That helps it being distinguished from the rest. Because the S is a bit similar, right?
Mhm.
The folded cloth S is like this, oops, sort of. I mean, normally the shoe has like an extra bend in it, but I guess in rapid writing they could look similar, and this helps. Or
For
this-
some reason, that reminds me of the 2 lines that sometimes added to ear.
Mhm. Yes, you're right. Like it looks like walking legs, but then it has this little thingy in front, right?
Yeah.
Makes it look like a snail.
Funny you say that. I always look like a snake. Okay, and here we go. Bad bird. I mean, there's a W, bad bird, and note the bad bird doesn't have wings. This seems to be a dual stroke. That's it, right? That's how far we got last time. And how far
1
we got-
hour for the Egyptian, 1 hour for the hieratic.
Fantastic. Very cool.
But cool. Yeah. Well, let's continue with the next sentence next time. Or the next 2, maybe.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You
Bye-bye.
too.